This your boy Corona Negra, and this is Gloves Off.
It's Corona Negra, no one out there better. Y'all all had your shine, now I'm changing the weather. It's Corona Negra, no one out there better. Y'all all had your shine, now I'm changing the weather. It's Corona Negra, it's Corona Negra, it's Corona Negra, it's Corona.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
First of all, I appreciate you for coming. Assalamu alaikum. That's how we greet each other. You know what I'm saying? I have a show. It's called Gloves Off. Obviously, you see me do a little bit of stuff, but basically, the concept of my show is for people to express themselves. It ain't about me. It's really about the person I'm interviewing. They get the opportunity to say things that some people might edit, filter, cut off. I'm raw, straightforward. We got one life to live. I believe when I went to prison and I finally realized that I didn't have a voice to speak for myself and people was just judging me off paper, this is why Gloves Off was created. So there's no sugarcoating, no beating around the bush or biting your tongue. That's the only rules. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So obviously I know a little bit about you, but I want the people to that's tuning in to basically get a little bit of background about you. So I'll ask questions that obviously you know I know already, and then we'll move forward to today. So let us know your name.
My name is Lyle Hassan Jones.
Okay. Were you born with that attribute?
No.
Okay.
I adopted that attribute.
Okay.
And Hassan is the attribute that I adopted.
Okay. And obviously, I guess I know that you're Muslim and stuff like that. Were you Muslim your whole life?
No.
Okay.
I converted to Islam in 1980 while in Osborne.
Osborne. And what is Osborne? For people that don't know.
Osborne is, it was really called Summers at that time because that was the only prison in the state of Connecticut outside of Cheshire, and it had infield. That was it. So everybody from Bridgeport, New Haven, and Hartford was in Summers, Connecticut, which was the prison. And being there, but before that, I was down south. I left here to go down south.
How old were you when you left here?
I was about 26 when I went down south.
Okay.
And I went because, coming up in the projects and being influenced by a lot of things that you see. Mm-hmm. And I came up in the projects in the 60s and the 70s. So it was a whole different world than what we have today. And we witnessed a lot of things. So that culture was embedded in me because that's what you see. Mm-hmm. So getting high, smoking, selling drugs, seeing women sell themselves, gambling, the bootlegger. It was an economy within those projects that we were used to. And even though it was wrong, it became the right thing to do because of the cultural acceptance inside that environment. And then we realized when we started getting in trouble that it was wrong. So I had a little case because I was, like everybody else, trying to make some money selling drugs, and I had a drug case.
Oh, okay.
And so I was getting ready to go to prison, and I said, man, prison ain't for me, I said, they're going to have to mail it. So
the war.
They're gonna have to mail the time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Because I'm going down. I'm leaving. I'm not going to do it. So I went on the run.
Okay.
And I went down south, and that was the best move I could have ever made when I went on the run.
Okay.
Because I was able to get out of Bridgeport. I was able to get away from all the influences here. I was down there in the boondocks, living in a trailer park with my cousin, with nothing around us. No street lights, dust roads. I couldn't believe people were living like that down there.
Yeah.
He eventually got me a job with him. And I started studying. He had some tapes on Minister Farrakhan. He had a Quran. He had a deep library down there because he was out of Philly.
Okay.
And he was just down there for a minute to help raise his son. So I went down with him. So now I'm introduced to this new knowledge. I didn't have this knowledge before. I'm just studying. It's nothing I can do down here. Because we're in the woods. We got a TV with 3 channels. See, and I mean, so was nothing we can do outside of just studying and doing the right thing. I was no longer using any substances or drinking. I was trying to quit smoking cigarettes, but that was a hard task. But things went well. Then I got in touch with myself. That's why I met Allah. I met God.
Okay.
In them woods.
Okay. Okay.
And he started touching me in them woods. And I started feeling my humanity, where I started weeping for some of the things that I had done and the pain that I had caused some people. I now feel it. See, before that, I couldn't feel it because it was all masked with drugs, with the environment, and with just being around your people. You got to be hard. You can't show no weakness. So I couldn't really express my humanity.
Okay.
And so I found that. And so when I came back, then I had to do the little bit of time.
You came back and turned yourself in?
I didn't come back to turn myself in. I came back to get my family. Because I was working down there. I had built a nice income. I was sending my wife money every week. I was getting ready to get this house I was renting to buy. I had made some connections with the bank down there, and so I was doing well. And my boys at that time, they was like about 7 and 8 years old. And so I came back to get them, but in the process of coming back, I was arrested.
Oh, okay, okay.
And therefore, I wanted to get on a bond again. And my father came to see me. And I said, Dad, no, just get me out, because I'm going back down here. Just get me on a bond. And he said,
So you gonna take 40% of my paycheck in taxes? Most definitely, And then after you tax my check, you gonna tax me on anything I spend with the money left from my check that you already taxed. Oh, you getting it now? You this close. You this close to getting ready to chase the American dream. So let me get this shit straight. Bitch, you gonna tax my whole check. Give me what's left. Then I'm gonna spend that on something. And you're gonna tax me again for spending money that was already taxed. And after I buy something, I have to pay taxes on that. Or else you're gonna take it from me because I didn't pay taxes. Yes, and if you do that real hard and just pull up on your bootstraps with all your might, you'll make it in this country. Bro, that sounds like some fucking bullshit. If I gotta pay taxes on anything that exists forever, anytime, always, every day, or else I fucking get my shit took or go to prison, do I own anything? No, y'all don't own shit. It's just a big lending system. We own everything and we just sell you the illusion that you got something. You don't have shit. Miss a tax payment, I'm taking that shit. Miss another one, I'm taking your fucking life. You're going to prison. Don't like it? Leave.
He said, son, you gave it your best shot. He said, in every misfortune is a great opportunity. He said, so just pray that you don't get a whole lot of time. He said, I'm not going to get you. Get this over with. Right.
How did you feel when he said that? I know you was like, what?
No, at first I resisted it, but I had grown enough from reading over that year down there that I accepted it because I knew that this was it.
Yeah. Okay, you felt that you were
I knew that that this was it.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I get to the prison and I start doing my thing, and then next thing you know, they said they had a drug program that guaranteed your parole. right?
Okay.
I said, well, I'm going to go into the drug program because I want first time guaranteed parole. I only had a 2 to 5. I could do about 12, 13 months and come home. So I go in the drug program. Now, little did I know that Allah was protecting me by me going in there. I'm thinking I'm going in there for parole, but Allah put me in there to keep me away from brothers that I knew who were in the Nation of Islam, brothers that I knew who were Muslim, brother who I knew who was still in the street, right? Because at that time of my development, while I was there was a lot of conflict in the prison behind the Nation of Islam, the Sunni Muslims. There was a whole lot of chaos, and brothers weren't really coming together like one. It was too much disunity. Allah took me out of that. See, I had no part. I couldn't even be with my boys from the street because in the drug program, you only went to your own child with people in the program, and you went to your own rec. I can only go to Juma and come home because one of the brothers I grew up with, he was a Muslim. He would come down every Friday try to get me out of the program. Yo, man, come to Juma, come to Juma. But I said, man, I'm not going to, man, I ain't trying to be no Muslim, man. But he kept bothering me. He was persistent. So I said, I'm going to go. So when I let him know I went and I don't like it. But when I went, the Imam said something that really tickled my fancy. And it drew me in. Because he said something real simple. He said, do you know why Allah made your ear in the form of a question mark?
No, I don't.
And I said, no, I didn't. But his analysis was so that you will question everything that goes in your mind. So question things, just don't take things for granted. So I stayed. I got in there, I was serious about deaning. People in the program getting high, I wasn't getting high. They offered, I said, nah, brothers. I said, nah, I'm serious. I took my shahada, I was Muslim, but I read everything. I was reading Bible, I was reading Quran, I was reading self-help books. It was like all this Allah was leading me toward.
So you said it was a division between Nation of Islam and the Sunni. A lot of people that don't know about Islam, they put them all, everybody together. So what is the separation from Fruit of Islam, Nation of Islam, and Sunni Muslim? Like, what is the separation? What the
You said Nation of Islam.
So
Sunni
yes.
is, and who else you said?
Fruit of Islam.
The Fruit of Islam is the Nation of Islam.
Okay, so Fruit of Islam. So 5%er. That's what I'm
5%er is well, the Nation of Islam was established found by the nation by W.D. Fard Muhammad.
Okay.
Fard Muhammad was the one who they say taught the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in 1930.
Okay.
And about Islam that's coming to the black man in America. And it was a form of Islam that really taught the black man to be something, stand on your own, and especially during that time when they was calling black men 3/5 of a man and stuff, that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad program came and uplifted the black man and the black woman.
Okay.
And it really took off in the 60s when Malcolm X accepted it, and it took off, and then along with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, which continues today. But it was a form of Islam that was established by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad through Fard Muhammad, who they said came in the person of God.
So what is, and so okay, so that's Nation of Islam.
That's Nation of Islam.
Okay, so 5%er is what?
5%er was a brother named Clarence 13X.
Okay.
Who after Honorable died, he went on and took off a branch of the Nation of Islam. But there's a whole lot of other Nation of Islams out there. A whole lot of other brothers made Nation of Islams, but Minister Farrakhan was the most popular and attractive, so his grew. But you had just a few more out there, brothers, then they got their followers.
Okay.
But it didn't grow like Minister Farrakhan's. And Clarence 13X, he had a branch for it, so he came up with the 5%ers. You know, 5% of people got the knowledge, you know, 95% of the people are asleep. And they came up with these philosophies and these school of thoughts, in which became real popular around that time. In you know, in the 70s and stuff, a lot of people adapted to it, you know, and so that, but see, a lot of it was what they said, their opinion.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And what they think religion is, and you know, what truth is, and sometimes it sounds good.
Yeah.
And it could tickle your fancy. But see, it was a lot of stuff wasn't coming out the Quran.
So that's what I was about to say. Malcolm X started off following the Nation of Islam, and it is told even in movies that he had a dispute with Elijah Muhammad, and obviously the rumor is, you know, they didn't like what he saw when he went to Mecca when he told him not to. So when that happened, a lot of people that was Nation of Islam became Sunni Muslim? You think they became Sunni after that?
What had happened was when Malcolm had split with the nation and he went to Mecca and he saw white folk there, and he believed while he was in the nation that it was impossible, divinely impossible, for a white man to come to the Holy Land of Mecca. See, so when he saw this, so now his perspective is starting to change. Then he's seeing how everyone who goes on Hajj have to put on the pilgrim's garment. So the worldly stuff you leave at the gate, so it's no big eyes and big you. The only one we're there to worship is Allah. So you can't tell the doctor from the peasant, or the CEO from the brother who's sweeping the floor. Because everybody's the same in Allah's eyes, and the best of you in God's eyes is the one who's most obedient and most righteous.
Okay.
See, so Malcolm was sincere. This is why Allah let him in. He was always sincere. I mean, Malcolm his character was so impeccable, right, that the FBI was following him, and they were wiretapping his hotel rooms the same way they did Dr. Martin Luther King. Okay? They had got something on King and shared it. I don't care to repeat it, you know, but they had shared it with his wife and stuff, something on King. Because they was tapping and wiretapping where they stayed. And Malcolm was traveling by himself doing all these speeches, and so they kept tapping his too. Because Hoover wanted to get stuff on these black leaders because he had a fear of the black Messiah. Coming round up, or everybody. See, and Martin was one because everybody was coming.
Yes.
Malcolm was talking separation, so they didn't care about that. Because we talk separation, you ain't talk about unifying, so you can't get all the power. So we still have our power. Okay, right? So he wasn't a threat, but he became a threat when he went to Mecca and came back and had a different perspective. See, but they said about Malcolm, they said this man compared to King is a saint. They said Malcolm was a saint compared to King, meaning we couldn't get nothing foul or dirty on him like we got on King. It's just what they said in FBI files. Because they went to Mecca and followed him in Mecca. They was on, Hoover wanted him. They couldn't believe anybody character can be that impeccable. Malcolm was serious. He came out of jail and all that, but he was serious. And that's why he became a world leader with an 8th grade education. Shook up college campuses. Slept in king's beds. Sheikhs gave him the bed when he went across seas traveling, right? He had no money. They paid all his expenses everywhere he went. Allah took care of him.
As he was on his journey. Yeah.
As he was on his journey. You know, and so that was the beef with them. And so inside the prison, because Imam Worthy Muhammad came in, who was Elijah Muhammad's son, and he became the new leader after Elijah Muhammad died in 1975.
Okay.
He took the nation into a different direction and changed the name, called the World Community of Islam, started teaching Sunni Islam. We must pray 5 times a day, fast during the month of Ramadan, where the nation was fasting in December.
Mm-hmm.
But he said we're going to fast with the Muslim world, with the Muslim calendar. Mm-hmm. We're going to stop calling these places temples. We're going to start having mosques. You know, and so he came and changed. And he did it right away. He didn't waste no time. He didn't care. Mm-hmm. Right? And some people came and some people didn't. Farrakhan came with him. Yeah. And Farrakhan came and was practicing Sunni Islam for 3 years. But then he felt the void. He felt the void because there was something missing, that he felt they wasn't reaching the people like they should. So he told him, he split with him. And he re-established the Nation of Islam and brought it back bigger and strong than it ever was. And the point that it was needed. See, it all was needed. Yeah. Everybody find their place. See, so people said, man, you should know, but it was needed. And for the people who benefited from it, you know, I mean, I benefited from his teachings, you know.
How did I was going to ask you that? How did you benefit? You living at this time, all this is happening. How did it affect you personally and your family?
Well, it didn't. It really didn't affect me because, see, I had accepted both of them.
Okay.
See, because I'm new now, and I'm a new Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying to find my way. I'm introduced. I was never in the nation. I'm introduced to being Sunni.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, I was introduced to Farrakhan down south because my cousin had tapes on him right before I came to jail.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So hearing them, it shaped me. It made me. It encouraged me. It made me feel well, nothing I can do, right? But then it wasn't what he was saying that I didn't join the nation, because what he was saying attracted me.
Mm-hmm.
But I already had became Sunni Muslim, and I knew the foundation of the faith, and then the foundation that they was come with, I couldn't agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I still respected them in the brothers nation, and I still would listen to tapes, and right to the day I still get the paper and all that, because I respect the work that they do.
Yeah.
You know, but we just had a different belief system.
So you go get out of prison, you have this knowledge, you know, you obtain this knowledge now. After, you know, you go down south, you learn some knowledge, you go to prison, you soak it up more now, you got time on your hand, you get out. And did you implement it to your children immediately? Or did you like grace periodly, like introduce them to it?
Yeah, no, when I came home, but before I got home, see, Allah started showing me who he was.
Okay.
See, because I was a baby in the religion. So he started showing me, who he was. I'm reading this book in my cell called Pilgrim's Progress by a brother named John Bunyan. It was written in the 17th century. Right? And it talks about a brother on a journey trying to get to the kingdom of God.
Okay.
Right? It's like a folklore story.
Mm-hmm.
And as his name was Christian, and as he starts going, he runs into all these different temptations. But he's strong because the minister who had told him said, listen, you get on this path and you stay on it. Don't look to your left or your right, and you'll surely get to the kingdom of heaven. So he's going, temptation coming, but he's staying on the straight path.
Mm-hmm.
But then Satan comes and say, Christian, where you going? He said, I'm going to the kingdom of God. He said, I'm on the straight path. He said, well, why are you taking such a long way? He said, you can get everything right here and get that later. So he looked, he saw women, he saw money, he saw cars, he saw all this stuff, and it pulled them off. It pulled them off the road. And if some months later, he's doing dirtball bad on a corner. And the minister is coming by, Mr. Truth, that was his name, was called Mr. Truth. And he see him from a distance. And Christian's trying to duck. He said, Christian, that you? Yeah, man. He said, what you doing here? Man, Worldly Wise, that was his name was Worldly Wise, had the world. Worldly Wise told me, man, you can put me down, do this and that. He said, didn't I tell you when you got on the path to stay on the path? Didn't I tell you, right? I fell asleep at that park. I fell asleep. I dreamed I was home. I got a call at the house. Brother from the east side called me and said, yo, brother, I heard you home. He said, man, you know, I got that package, man. You know, get you back on your feet. You know, you ready to do something, right? I said, no, brother. I'm happy. My wife's happy. My kids are happy. I got a job. I don't want it. Because I had planned on doing everything I was doing there. I was going to do this when I got out, right? So I tell my wife, baby, I'm going to go jogging. So I start going on jogging, right? I run into a brother right down here, downtown, in a dream. White boy that I knew. He said, yo, Hassan, but call me Lyle. He said, what you doing? I said, man, ain't nothing. I just came home, man. He said, yeah. He said, man, who got the coke? I said, man, I don't know who got no coke. I'm not in that. He said, no, man. He said, man, I got $800, man. I'm trying to get, and it ringed in me. We're right at the corner of Stratford Avenue. I said, man, I go right to the village, get the package, hook them up. I'm right back on my feet, first day out of penitentiary. I said, come on, man. As soon as we get to the bridge, Lazma Shaheed, I entered a cold place. And I slipped on some ice. It was like summertime, but when we got on that bridge, it was freezing cold. I slipped, and then he took out a gun, looking like the devil, and said, now I got you. And he shot me. And I woke up in a cold sweat in that bed, right? And I'm saying, oh, nah. Why am I dreaming such a dream, right? So later on that day, I opened the Quran up. And, no, when I went back and read that book, then it said this. He said, didn't I tell you when you got on the path, stay on the path, in the book when he's telling them? You feel? Didn't I tell you don't look to your left or your right? He said, didn't I tell you to go back to the life that God has blessed you to come out of will cause you your death? That's what I read right after I woke up out of that dream. See? And so when I tell people, I'm on my deen not because somebody preached it to me. No, that ain't why I'm on it. I met God in them cells. Then I was crying one day in the cell, and I got my Bible in my Quran, and I'm saying, I'm ready to go. I said, get me out. I'm ready. Right? As soon as I opened the Quran, he said, you asked me to relieve you of a penalty. No sooner than I relieve you of this penalty, you revert back to your old ways. I said, no, Allah, not me. I said, if you get me out, I'll never go back. Now, I'm going to fast forward right now, they tell me they can't guarantee my parole. I said, well, I'm in the drug program. Y'all said y'all was going to get it. We can't get your paperwork. We can't guarantee it. I said, man, what are you talking about, man? I said, well, I'm wasting all my time down here. I could have been, you know. He said, well, we can't do it. I said, well, get me out of here, man. I'm going to the farm. I'm signing for the farm. Because I was eligible to go to the farm. So I get to the farm. The farm is wide open. They got everything. You're never locked up. You know, you go play ball. They got a golf course. Everything on the farm.
Yeah, the golf course and the farm?
Yeah, like the mini golf course. Yeah, they had everything on there, man.
Oh, man.
And so I'm on there, so they send me a letter saying that we're going to have to postpone your hearing. You're supposed to go Tuesday. We're going to have to postpone it because we don't have your paperwork. Right? That was like on a Wednesday, and I was supposed to go next Tuesday. So I asked Allah, like I'm talking to you now, I did my salat. I said, oh Allah, I said, I just want to go. I don't, you know, if they deny me, you want me to be here, I'm good with it. Because now this Ramadan, this is my first Ramadan. I'm fasting too, this Ramadan. I said, so I'm good with it if you want me to stay here, right? And so I said, but I just want to go. And as soon as I finished doing it, I heard the voice say, your lawyer got your paperwork. Ain't that obvious? All the time, I never asked a lie. I'm depending on these people to do what they had to do. But the moment I asked the lie, he gave me the answer. I called my sister that night. It was a Thursday night. I said, you go by that lawyer's office, Sister Ma. Tell him to give you my transcripts of the trial. And you send them to me overnight. And she did. That Monday, I took it to the consulate. He said, well, this looks like this may be what they need. I'll send you over there with them. I said, make me a copy just in case that get lost on the way over.
Yeah, for real.
7 of us from the farm. 8 from the prison. Going to the parole board. We sitting in there. Big old room. 15 of us. Everybody trying to figure out if it's going to be a good board. I don't even care. Because I wasn't supposed to be there. A lot of them do it. So I know that the people in that room ain't got no control of the decision. A lot of them made the decision. He already got me here.
Yeah.
So whether I'm going to go home or not, I'm good with it. See? Because Allah the best know it. That's where my faith was. Right? So one brother do this inside there. And then he looked at me and said, man, I ain't did that in a long time. So I said to myself, I just smiled at him and said to myself, well, he don't hear those because I was up there in that attic hiding from the police. And I said, God, don't let them come here and get me. And they came up there and put some handcuffs on me, right? And so they called me first. And the program called me first. The oneness of God. You know how we on that hut. Whew, number one. So they beat me up in there, talked about what I used to do. But I told them that the man in that file is not the man that's before you today. And you'll see that I'm married. I don't have no long criminal history. I got a job waiting for me when I get out. I got my GED since I've been in here. I took college courses, you know. They gave me parole. All the other 6 that came with me from the farm was denied. Now we get on the phone. Muslim brothers, yo, man, you the only one from the farm, mate. I said, yeah. So I said, Allah's Akbar, man.
Sales psychologists have to say about selling to the Negro.
The secret of selling to the Negro is expressed in one word. That word is recognition. Now, there's nothing unusual about that. People want to be recognized. They need recognition. That's basic in all of us. But perhaps because he's had so little of it, the Negro needs even more. He needs to feel important and appreciated. This need is a very real and important one. It shows up even in many of the Negro's shopping habits. Anyone who sells or wants to sell to the Negro customer should know about some of these habits. 3 habits in particular play a big part in every sales transaction. To begin with, most Negroes buy by brand. They ask for products by name. They're quick to turn down off-brands. Buying by brand, that's the first important Negro buying habit. Now for the second. The Negro buys good quality merchandise. Symbols of quality and prestige are very important to the Negro customer. This woman, for example, is buying fine crystalware. But she is also buying the admiration and approval of her friends and relatives. Listen to her thoughts.
My, isn't it beautiful? I can hardly wait to show it to Sally and Joan.
It's a well-known fact that many Negro customers are influenced by the opinions of others. What their friends may think of a certain item often decides whether or not the sale is made. So remember, the Negro buys quality merchandise. That's the second important point. And here's the third thing to remember when selling to a Negro customer. When he specifically asks for one thing, don't try to sell him something else. Don't try to switch him at the point of sale. If you do, he'll probably react something like this.
Doesn't he think I've got the money to pay for it?
The Negro resents being offered a substitute. He wants to be sold on quality, not price. The Negro buys by brand, he buys quality, and he doesn't like to be switched at point of sale. These are the keys to selling the Negro customer.
According to leading researchers, in proportion to population and income, Negroes buy more quality products than any other comparable United States group.
Appreciate everybody for tuning in to Gloves Off. Obviously, if you stayed in tune this whole time, you know Gloves Off. We don't sugarcoat. We don't beat around the bush about our tongue. All the information that you heard out of the people's mouths is their truth, what they believe is true or not. Also, you know, the information in the commercials that I gave y'all is, some of it's funny, but it is true as well. Let's just keep it real. On Gloves Off, we don't sugarcoat. It is what it is.